want to welcome Dr. Matt Westheimer to my show. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to come here to interview you. And for the listeners that don't know who you are, can you tell them a little bit about yourself and where you're from?
Yeah, so I am a structural chiropractor, and I'm originally from the Fort Lauderdale area, but I've spent time living all over the world. So one of my mentors says that the world is his home and every country is a different bedroom, and that's kind of what I've felt like over the past 10 years or so.
And the reason I wanted to interview is because I met you a few months ago at Toastmasters. We're both members of Toastmasters. And when I got to hear you speak, it was like, this guy's phenomenal. So I'm like, I got to meet this guy. But it took me a while to actually meet you. And when we did meet each other and we got to talk, and I got to hear a little bit about your story, and I knew that you married your wife, Jen, and just hearing about your travels and everything. Obviously at the time, I didn't know that you were a chiropractor. And then you put that on me a little later, and I was like, wow, this just gets better and better. And you speak so well, and I've learned from you at Toastmasters. So like I said, I'd really just want to talk about success, pick your brain about success, give some of the folks some tidbits on how they can be successful. Maybe somebody you want to, follow in your footsteps, become a chiropractor, or maybe it could be something else that they want to do, but they just have that fear of, that fear is holding them back to, not push them to where they want to, go in that direction that they want to go. Mm-hmm. So what got you into becoming a chiropractor?
I grew up with it my whole life. My dad's been a chiropractor for 41 years, and he still practices full time and loves it as much as today as he did when he first started. My uncle also became a chiropractor, and he's retired now. And so I grew up in my dad's office, and I remember meeting his patients all the time because I loved spending time there. It was like a second home for me. Mm-hmm. And patients would just tell me how much they loved my dad and how much he changed their life. And I would see how much he enjoyed going into work every day. I mean, he loved what he did every single day. When most people out there hated their job and hated going to work and they lived for the weekends, he lived for the Mondays. He loved going into work on Monday. And he had the opportunity to have fun, to help people, and to make a difference. And so that, I always carried that with me, and that always inspired me to want to have that kind of an impact on people's lives.
And for the people that are listening, what would you have to do to become a chiropractor? What type of training, college courses, what does it take to become a chiropractor?
A lot more schoolwork than I was anticipating. So I did 4 years of undergrad, and that was at the University of Central Florida. And then after getting my 4-year degree, then I went to chiropractic school. And I thought that taking 12 to 15 credit hours a semester was difficult. In chiropractic school, it was 25 credit hours a quarter. And so it was lots of early mornings, that's where my addiction to coffee started. Lots of early mornings, lots of late nights, and it was 4 years of chiropractic school. Right. And so a lot of the basic sciences, so neurology, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, microbiology, and then where in medical school you might branch off into surgery or pharmacology, we would do a lot more work on structural correction, on chiropractic techniques, x-ray analysis, those types of things.
Right. And you talked about a lot of the courses and the different things that you went through. For someone that wanted to become a chiropractor, what advice would you give them looking into that? Maybe schools or anything, to help them to, prepare for something like that?
The best advice that I'd give is to have a real passion for it. That's where I would start. A lot of people go into a profession, whether it's chiropractic or any profession, for the money, the prestige, the power, the significance. But if you do that, it gets really exhausting really quickly because it's a lot of hard work. I mean, it's a grind. It's like when I get to take care of patients, I love it. But behind the scenes, it is a lot of work. And so there's got to be something bigger, a passion, a purpose bigger than just serving yourself or being a chiropractor for the sake of being a doctor, for example, where it's got to be a deeper passion about making a difference in people's lives and realizing that things are going to be difficult, but when you get the patient that tells you after an adjustment that literally you've completely changed their life,
right,
and they lost hope, and now hope is back in their life again,
right,
it certainly makes the long days worth it.
And that's what I like about you, and that's what drew me to you when I heard you speak at Toastmasters. And I think a couple of times you were just casual conversation. I think you got up one time and you did a little speech or something, and it was just the passion I heard in your voice that was like, man, this guy's great. And I see that here when, I was setting up for the interview, and your door is just a revolving door. It was like one patient after the other. So I'm like, I was only here close to an hour, and I can imagine the number of patients that come through all day long. I'm like, this guy's just constantly busy. So with the clientele that you have coming through, how did you build that customer base? What is it that sets your company apart other than the other companies that are out there, the chiropractic offices out there?
I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's really is true, it was built one person at a time. Like every person, so when we got here a year ago, we were out in the community, we did a lot of volunteering, we went to Toastmasters, we went to networking events, and we weren't even thinking about it because we didn't have an office yet. So it wasn't like, all right, how much can we get? How can we get people to come with us and to find value in what we're doing? The approach was the other way. It was, how do we add value to people's lives? Rather than seeing how they can add value to our lives, it's how do we connect with people? How do we add value to people's lives? And then when we started having the opportunity to serve people, it's just one person at a time. It's like no matter how many people I have in the office, and I remind myself of this, I have to center myself before every shift, but it's always that reminder of whoever is with me, that's on the table in front of me, is somebody's mother, is somebody's father, is somebody's child, is somebody's sister, is somebody's aunt or uncle. It's somebody, they mean the world to somebody out there. So even though the office might have a lot of people in it, I'm not thinking about everybody in the office at that time. I'm thinking of that one individual in front of me and literally thinking, how can I make them feel like they're the most important person in the world? And it's finding that balance, because it's like, no matter how busy I am, I want to help more people. Like there can't be too many people in the office for me because I feed off that energy of a lot of people around. So it's finding that balance of looking at how to grow and how do we serve more people, but also be in the moment and serve each person one at a time. And
every time I look around on Facebook, or your wife's putting out stuff on Facebook, sending me invites, and unfortunately I can't come to a lot of things that you all are doing because of my schedule, but you all are out in the community so much, giving back to the community, helping, just constantly helping. Where does that come from? You kind of hit on it a little bit, but where does that come from from you?
Well, it's funny. I may give you an answer that you're not expecting. Honestly, it comes from a bit of being selfish. And people they get kind of caught back by that, where they're like, why do you do all that? I'm like, because I'm selfish. They're like, but what do you mean? You're helping other people. Like, how can you be selfish? And the reality is when I'm focused on my own stuff, that's when I get stressed. Right. That's when my mind starts racing, my mind starts going. And so the selfish aspect of it is I feel good being able to help other people. Like, I feel good when people need me, when people feel better when I'm around, or they feel like that I'm doing something good for them. It really makes me feel good to know that I'm making a difference. So part of it is a little bit of a selfishness, and then also it's kind of that thing at the end of the week, or the end of the month, or the end of the year, and then our days turn into our weeks turn into months, our months turn into years, and our years determine our lifetime. Like, we're gonna look back on our life and think about 10 years ago seems like yesterday. Like, when you think of when your daughter was born, it was probably seemed like it was yesterday, and years have gone by. So I try to. I'm not always perfect at it. I'm definitely not perfect at it.
Right.
But I try to live by the motto of like, at the end of my life, what is the impact that I want to have?
Right.
And do I want it to be all about doing what was in it for me, or do I want to have a larger impact on the world and leave something worth leaving?
Wow.
And an impact worth leaving.
Wow. And I've followed you for the last few months, and I know you come here, you hadn't had your office open yet, and you were in, everything was in the works, and you were like, hey, it's going to be here, it's going to be there, we're going to open here, this and that and the other. I want to talk about success. How do you define success?
I'm still working on it's a work in progress for me. The way I define success is I feel like it goes along with my purpose statement, and my purpose statement is really to make an indelible impact on as many lives as possible while continually pursuing self-mastery. And so it's making an impact on the world and the people that I love and growing in the process. And so Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs, which is you have certainty, uncertainty, you have significance, love and connection, which are all kind of opposing. But he talks about the 2 needs of the spirit are growth and contribution. And so when I look at success is about making an incredible contribution to the world and into people's lives, and then myself growing in the process. And the cool thing about growth and contribution is they feed on each other. So when you contribute, you grow. And when you grow, you can contribute more.
Right.
And then when you can contribute more, you learn and you're inspired, and then you grow more. And it's kind of this positive feedback loop that feeds itself. And I don't know that anyone is ever really successful, but it's that continual pursuit of success that makes life meaningful. Because if you talk to anybody that says, I've reached the pinnacle of success, like I was 41 years old and I reached the pinnacle of success and the rest of my life was incredible. Once you reach whatever that quote pinnacle of success is, it's only downhill from there. And so I think life is just about the continual pursuit of success, which is about contribution, impact, and growth.
And since we're on success, what mindset, you gave a lot of good information, but what mindset would someone need to have in order to become successful in whatever they wanted to do? Just speaking about the mindset.
Yeah, I think it's a mindset. Number one is part of it. I mean, there's contradictory ideas here. So some people say you have to think and be who you are determines the success you're going to have. And then other people say, don't worry about what you're thinking. Develop the right habits, and then your habits will determine your level of success. And so you have all of these people that are sitting around and pontificating about, like, what do I need to think about to be successful? And part of me wants to be like, just do the work, and you'll figure it out along the way. So Absolutely. I think the mindset is just realizing it's that just do the work. Like, read the books, study, get out in the community, try different jobs, work doing different things. I mean, I've done everything from scraping paint off windows and cleaning cement out of sliding glass doors to working weddings as doing videography, or I was more of an assistant at that time. I've worked camps, I've done traveling, and I've worked now being a chiropractor. So I've worked in so many different areas and tried so many different things. I think part of it is just developing the habit of success, but then also thinking about what's the impact that you want to make in the world. Because most people want to look at success and they want to think about, how do I make the most money? How do I get the most material items? How do I buy these new shoes and this big house and this fancy car?
Right.
And most people, when they make that their purpose and they define success as a material, this idea of material success, they're never happy.
Right.
But one of my mentors said, he's like, the amount of income that you make will be proportionate to the impact that you create in society. Because if you have an amazing product and you have an amazing mindset and you have a heart of service and you create an incredible, valuable service, that people want to pay you for because that it's so good, and you get to help lots and lots of people, you change and transform an incredible amount of people's lives, and you make good money in the process.
Absolutely. The money will come.
Yeah.
And all you
it can't be the primary thing.
Yeah. And it's like you said, do the work as well as take action. And a lot of people don't take the action.
They're afraid of failing. They're afraid of failing, so they don't take the step. And any time in my life when I look at all the things that I've kind of been stagnant on, it's been because of that fear of failure. That's almost always that's what it is. And then when I look at what got me, whatever you define success as, if we look at the things that I've, quote, been successful at in my life, I think about how many things I failed at in the process in order to get there.
Right.
And you want to fail, you don't want to, it's that balance. You don't want to fail more than you need to.
Right.
So you want to learn from people who have been before you so you don't make those same mistakes, but you're still going to learn along the way. You're still going to make mistakes along the way. And as long as it moves you forward, it's not really a mistake.
Absolutely. And that's what, like you said, that's where we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And Lord knows I've made a lot of them. And, you know, starting my motivational speaking business and doing my YouTube channel, it's just a learning process. And every time I do an interview, I'm getting better and better and better. And, you know, I'm not afraid to ask certain questions. I'm not afraid to, you know, take that next step, you know, take that action to go ask this person, hey, would you mind giving me an interview? Some people turn me down. Some of them, you know, they say yes. And it's, and you know, it's just a numbers game. And just me listening to you talk all throughout, you have the makings of a book. Have you ever written a book or?
Actually, I started writing a book years ago, and then my computer crashed and I lost everything that was in it. And so I've done a lot of writing. I write a lot of articles and a lot of blogs and stuff like that, but I have not written a book. I don't know that I'm book worthy yet. Hopefully one day what I have to say will be book worthy.
I actually think you are. I really think you are. What are some of the goals for your practice now? Are you planning on franchising? What are you doing as far as later on? I know maybe not right now, but what's your vision for your practice?
Yeah, the vision is definitely multiple offices. I love leading and training other doctors and teams. So eventually to have other doctors working here and having me mentoring and training them how to take care of people. I'm really excited about that. We also love the idea of opening up multiple offices around Charlotte. You know, now we're in South Charlotte, but we want to have an office where no matter where anybody lives, there'll be an office within, 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes away. Right. So that's the ultimate goal, but we're starting with just making this office the best that we can and make the biggest impact in this community that we can first.
Great. And how do you advertise? Do you go through a marketing firm? How do you advertise your business?
There's so many things. There's so many things. I would say a lot of people are doing the online stuff, and we're definitely doing that. So Facebook, we do some stuff on Instagram, we do some stuff on Google, we have a website, podcast, blog articles. We also get out in the community, so we do live events, which have been difficult in this day and age of COVID. But doing events in the community, speaking engagements, volunteering, just going door to door and meeting people. Like I was at Lowe's the other day and getting some plants for the office, and I started talking to somebody about chiropractic, and he was like, oh, I used to go to a chiropractor, I haven't been in a while, I need one. And we got a new patient from that. And so we're always just out in the community talking about what it is that we do and seeing if there's people that could use our help. And so it's a combination of digital, internal, external. We also, one of our mottos as well is we want to deliver a connection and a service and a product that people want to talk about.
Right.
So we want people to feel so amazing. Like, I've never been to a doctor's office like this before. I don't know that we deliver on that goal every time, but our goal is always, how do we connect with our patients and care about them more than they've ever cared about before, and then deliver a product of structural correction and regaining their health more than they ever could have experienced anywhere else or that they ever could have expected from us, to where they leave here thinking, that was an incredible experience. I really want to share that with other people and help other people in the way that they help me.
Right.
And I think that a lot of the times in marketing with businesses now is it's always thinking about new customers. How do we get more new customers? Mm-hmm. But I think that the mindset needs to be shifted to how do we create such an amazing relationship with our current customers and our current patients and our current clients that they want to share it with other people. Not that we're forcing them or incentivizing them, but we just take care of them in such a way that they trust us to take care of the people that they care about.
Absolutely.
And we built up that trust.
And I see that, like I said, I was here for about roughly an hour waiting on the interview, and it's just a revolving door. It's just like, man, it was crazy. And talking about your office environment, you all have it going on here. It's like it's an upbeat type atmosphere. Most offices you go in, where it's doctor's office, chiropractor office, it's a little lame. It's a little slow. There's, the elevator music going on. I mean, I come up in here, y'all are jamming.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all getting down. It's not your traditional office. I mean, everybody's happy. Everybody's joking around. Most of the time you go out doctor's office, people are quiet, but everybody's here joking around with you, high-fiving or whatever you were doing back in the back, talking about their, lives and everything. I mean, you all really have it going on here.
Thank you.
That's really good.
That was really important to us when we've been dreaming about this office for 4 years, basically. We've been planning and strategizing, and Jen and I going through our goals and what our vision, not just our goals, but our vision of what we wanted to create and the feeling that we wanted people to have. Literally 4 years we've been planning this. And so even down to what kind of music we were going to play. And we wanted fun music. We visualized people coming into the office smiling and saying, these people are serious about our health. Like, we're very serious about healthcare, but at the same time, we're just as serious about having fun and creating this kind of magnet of energy that people love being in and being around.
Absolutely. And like I said, I felt that energy as soon as I walked in, man.
Cool.
And
I appreciate that.
As soon as, and obviously, what was it, about 3-4 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when you had your ribbon cutting?
Yeah.
I mean, y'all did it top notch. I mean, I didn't expect anything less, And,
you.
Had so many people show up and everything, man. It was really great. In closing, I'm curious, where did the name of your business come? Is there a story behind the name Precision?
Yeah, Precision Chiropractic, I wanted something that, because we have a lot of fun in the office, and we want it to be that. I mean, you'll see when kids are here too. Like, I'm chasing them, or literally, like, there was this morning, there was a little girl in the office, and I'm pretending like I'm a monster, and I'm the tickle monster, chasing her around the office, tickling her. So we have a lot of fun here, but I also wanted our name to symbolize that we take chiropractic and healthcare to the next level. Right. So it's not just playful and fun, but our care, we do corrective care. Right. So we take x-rays that are very detailed with very detailed analysis. We do a really thorough objective examination and a really thorough consultation. And some of what we do is based on the goals of the patient and what they're looking for. But a lot of what we do is also based on objective analysis. So like real measurements and criteria for adjusting a certain way, a specific direction with a specific amount of force, and knowing that we're getting a certain result. And so Precision kind of was emblematic of all of that, was that we do very precise measurements, very precise specific adjustments, right, that when you're here, you get precision chiropractic care.
Right.
Not just this general manipulation based on pressing on a couple of areas and
right,
seeing what's stiff or what's not stiff.
Right.
That we do really precise corrective type care in this office.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That's great. Well, I'm not going to take any more of your time. I really want to thank you. I know you're very, very busy, and
this is great. I could do this all day.
I know you can. I know you can. But I really want to thank you, man. The information that you gave, it will definitely help someone. I know for a fact that's looking to get into chiropractic care, or do something that's going to motivate them to do something, and that's the goal here. Just let people know you can do this too. There's all you got to do is, like you said, basically do the work, take action, and the world's open to you. It's all yours. You just have to go out there and get it.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you again, man.
Well, I want to thank you and just acknowledge you for a second, because I remember when I first met you, I knew there was something special about you, and I wanted to get together with you. And I'm glad that we've been able to keep in touch and work together all this time later. And just the work that you're doing, the public speaking that you're doing, and your heart for service has always been inspiring for me as well. And so I appreciate you being a model of influence in the community too.
Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely.